Yo, what's up? This is Dallas Cowboys State of the Union. Yo, we coming to y'all real quick. Just got done watching the season finale, regular season finale.
And boy, was it a season finale.
Oh, man, oh, man. Listen here. First of all, shout outs to New York Giants for putting up a hell of a fight. Mr. Saquon did his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They receivers did their thing most definitely. Listen here. Their defense played pretty well, too. We're not going to even take nothing away from them. But the only thing I want to say is, how about them damn Cowboys? Listen here. I have not seen a passing explosion from the Dallas Cowboys like that in a very long time. I would say since Tony Romo. You know? First of all, shout out to all the receivers from Gallup to Beasley.
Blake Jarwin.
Jarwin. I think Dalton Schultz got a nice
catch.
Tavon Austin got a little bit of the action. Alawale got a little bit of the action. Shout out to everybody who caught a ball from Dak this particular game. Secondly, shout out to Jason Garrett for having the guts to go for it on the 2-point conversion.
And you know, leading up to that touchdown drive, I said before we went back out on the field is that if we score, I would go for 2 to win the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm recognizing my defense has given up touchdowns, and you don't want it to get into overtime where, you know, they get the ball first, and then, you know, Saquon Barkley, they haven't been able to stop Saquon Barkley all game long.
Yeah.
You want to end the game and get out of the Meadowlands with a win.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is another instance of Jason Garrett. I call it growing up as a coach.
Yeah.
You know, it took him 9 years, but, you know, better late than never.
Yeah.
Is, you know, he's, you know, you saw in Indianapolis where he went for 4th down, I think 5 times.
Yeah.
You're seeing him make gutsy calls.
Yeah.
And it's coming out, you know, 9 out of 10 times correctly.
Yeah.
You know, so just shout out to Jason Garrett. You know, he really changed my perception of him.
Yeah, yeah. I think I always say this. Jason Garrett gets a bad rap. I've never been the one to say get rid of Jason Garrett. I've always liked Jason Garrett just from a team building standpoint. We can call him conservative at times, and he has been, and he has his faults. But you just look at this season. Let's go like we said last week. Going back to how this season started, 3-5, this team rallied to come back, have a 5-game winning streak, and then they win 6 out of 7 in the last weeks. Well, now we can say they win in the later half of the season, 7 out of 8 in the latter half of the season, and a 10-6 on a positive note. And listen here, they got some momentum. They got some momentum right there. And that is the kind of game that you need going into the playoffs, because the playoffs is going to be that same kind of intensity.
Exactly. And you're going to need to make big-time throws in the big-time moments, and Dak was able to do that. I think this is his 14th game-winning drive.
Yeah.
14. And, you know, we're seeing it time and time again. You know, we already knew the clutch gene was there. We wanted to see if he can put it together for 4 quarters. And from, you know, while the offense was slow at the jump, which was not surprising, he got into a rhythm in the middle of the second quarter.
Yeah.
And started connecting with Jarwin. And, you know, Jarwin, you know, he had no TDs coming to this game, and he pulls off a hat trick.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, and keep in mind, this is with no Zeke. You know, everybody was always wondering, can Dak perform without Zeke in the backfield? Primarily, the running game was gone the whole entire game.
Yeah,
Darius Jackson got a couple of
nice
touches. Rod Smith got a couple of touches or whatnot. But primarily, this game, they was passing it in the air. And like I told people, this is more of a scrimmage game. I wasn't looking for them to win the game. I was looking to see, hey, can you put up some kind of numbers? Can you put up some kind of big plays, big-time plays in the passing game? And they definitely came up. Now, if we can go ahead and pair those big-time passing plays along with Zeke Elliott in the backfield, this team is unstoppable in the playoffs.
The touchdown pass to Jarwin, I thought was Dak's most impressive throw of the day, where he was able to step up in the pocket.
I want to say of his career.
Yeah,
honestly,
the best throw. I think that we can go ahead and say that. And I saw some things that was tailor made for Dak, the naked bootlegs, him rolling outside of the pocket, where I believe he's most dangerous as a runner and as a thrower on the run, running out of the pocket and throwing on the run. I mean, you saw him make plays, improvise whenever he was able to get out of the pocket, and you. Finally, I can finally say you saw his receivers actually running with him.
And staying with it. I saw Hearns, I saw Jarwin do it at critical times. I think Gallup did it at critical times. And this is what we was talking about at the beginning of the season. Nobody's saying Dak Prescott is perfect because he's not perfect.
No.
Nobody's perfect. But however, at the beginning of the season, what we saw a lot of was him scrambling out of the pocket and his receivers just standing pat. Nobody coming back to the ball. Nobody paying attention to their quarterback to see if the quarterback is telling them to go long or come back to the ball. And you saw
it was just a lot of wide receivers standing around. You didn't see that today.
You didn't see that
whenever
today.
Dak was able to get out of the pocket, you see him pointing. He's conducting traffic here.
Yeah.
And his receivers was running with him. You saw Beasley run with him. You saw Hearns on that big catch. His only catch of the day, but it was a big catch.
It was a big catch at critical times.
Running with Dak as Dak was running out of the pocket. And Gallup, you saw him do the same thing on the 2-point conversion. Again, Dak rolling out to his right.
Yeah.
And his receivers running with him. Gallup.
Yeah.
That's how he was able to find Gallup.
And keep in mind, he was under duress the whole entire game. I don't want anybody to sit there and act like Dak had a whole lot of time in the pocket because he got 3 backup receivers. I think Su'a-Filo got hurt again, but I think he's okay.
I want to know about 3 backups. He's more like 3.
Yeah.
More like backup line. You had Cameron Fleming, Su'a-Filo got hurt, so you had Adam Redmond come in for the rest of the game.
Hopefully Su'a-Filo's okay.
And then you had Connor Williams.
Yeah.
Connor Williams.
He's not a backup, but he's like that kind of hybrid.
Connor Williams to me is a starter.
Yeah.
You did see him get beat on 1 sack, but other than that, he held up for the rest of the game.
He held up,
which lets me know is he's got his strength up enough to the point where he can take on incoming.
Just imagine once you add Tyron Smith and Zach Martin back into that flow. Hopefully Su'a-Filo's okay. I think that he's okay because we didn't hear nothing else about it, so I think he just got nicked up a little bit.
And Vander Esche's okay.
He's okay too. He's just sat on the sideline, so I think they just got nicked up a little bit, and they decided to set them the rest of the game, which was a smarter option. Hey, if you get nicked up, pull them off the field. Listen here, people were saying why they want Dak Prescott in the game this whole game. I said this is going to be a defining game because I said this is the last regular season game to clean up any mistakes, to take chances. Even if Dak threw picks, even if we ended up losing the game, I wanted to see if they was willing to take chances, and they did. So we came out with the W. I have no qualms about this game. Defense showed up when they needed to show up, and the offense complimented them. Now, granted, people saying, the defense was under duress. Well, they got 2 early picks, which were great. But Saquon Barkley is just a beast.
Saquon Barkley, as I was watching this game, Saquon Barkley reminds me a lot of Barry Sanders. The way he's able to shed tacklers, the way he's able to make that first guy miss. And you saw it through the entire game, and we saw this. The first game we played against him. The first would-be tackle is not able to get him to the ground.
Yeah.
It takes to the 4th tackle to get him down. Yeah. And so when I saw that, it's like the way he jukes, the way he catch balls out of the backfield, the way the way he's able to create space. I call it. It's almost like a basketball shot creator. He's kind of like a shot creator equivalent to football, is where he's able to create space where there isn't space. Yeah. And you see that with a lot of these great backs. You see it with Zeke. You see it with Todd Gurley. Yeah. Saquon Barkley, he's right up in that echelon.
Oh yeah, Saquon Barkley is going to be a problem. It's going to be great to see this NFC East for the next 10 years with Saquon and Zeke in there, because both of them are just beasts. Saquon Barkley, that dude is a hell of a runner. He's virtually impossible to get tackled. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say it now. I'm worried just because when the Giants get their O-line and potentially their quarterback situation figured out and stuff like that, they're going to be a problem with Saquon in the backfield.
And not to mention you have Odell Beckham, and
not to mention
Evan Ingram, and you have Sterling Shepard. You have all those guys.
Yeah.
And the problem has always been is, can you protect Eli?
Yeah.
That line has been in shambles for the 2nd straight year in a row. So you're going to see the Giants going into this offseason and more resources to the offensive line.
Exactly. Probably drafting another lineman, maybe picking up a lineman in free agency. So I'm gonna say beware next season for them.
Yeah. Because they lost the game, so I think they're guaranteed a top 5 pick. Had they won it, the pick would have been in the early teens. Yeah. 11 to 12. So
like I said, big ups to them. They played a hell of a game. Our Cowboys, they played a hell of a game. When it mattered the most, they came in with the clutch plays.
And
okay?
Dak is
now
rumors
that's going around is that it was actually Jason Garrett calling the plays. And I always tell people, don't forget that Jason Garrett's passing game and when he was the coordinator was actually pretty decent. You know, so let's not forget that. And if that was Jason Garrett calling the plays, fuck Scott Linehan, excuse my French, but fuck Scott Linehan, leave his ass at home, and Jason Garrett call the plays,
right.
Okay? Or if you want to split it up, say, hey, I'm calling the passing plays, Scott, you call the running plays.
Right.
And
like,
leave it like that.
Again, like, I was going through the Twitterverse, and, I don't know how valid
Yeah, it's probably not true.
Right.
It's probably not true, but I will say that I'm leaning to it could have some possibility of having some truth to it just because we haven't seen no explosion like this in Scott Linehan's playbook.
Right. And one of the things that I saw is the receiver. Oh, sorry, folks. One of the things that I saw while looking through replays and stuff like that was the receivers running upfield. You never really saw no 10 yards hook routes or deep comebacks or none of that. Most of their routes was going up the field.
Up the field.
Majority of their routes.
Yeah.
And that led me to believe, okay, if this room is true, it's got to be Jason Garrett calling the plays and not Scott Linehan because we've already seen Scott Linehan for 15 games in a row.
Yeah.
And he boxes receivers into these 10-yard routes.
10-yard routes, stop routes, just very conservative play calling. So I look at it like this, honestly, I'm gonna call it right now. Everybody in the playoffs got to watch out. Now, the only worry I have is can the Cowboys repeat this? Because the Cowboys have been inconsistent all season long as far as offensively. So I'm hoping that they go back and look at this game and say, hey, we got to add more explosive plays in the passing game to equate with Zeke's running, and we can still do ball control and have some explosive plays.
What you want to do is create that fine balance.
Yeah.
One of the reasons going back to 2014 that I believe the Dez none catch no catch, had we gotten past Green Bay, we would have beat Seattle. I know we would have beat Seattle because we played balanced football, running the football and then setting up play action for the pass.
For the big play.
For the big play. So it's to me, I looked at this game, people going to say, well, it's only the Giants. Well, the Giants have been playing well.
Especially the second half of their season. They have been playing exceptionally well.
They've been finally clicking on offense. Yeah. Even though that offensive line is still, so-and-so, they've been playing well down the stretch. So when I look at this like that, I know one of my homeboys, he texted me, he's like, well, that game was way harder than it needed to be. And I'm telling, and this is why I replied, who cares? We won. That's it. That's all the end.
How's that game more harder than it needs to be? See, this is a problem that I always have with these delusional Cowboy fans. If we win the game, we didn't win the way that y'all wanted it to win. Like, sit here and stop acting like y'all, these Madden freaking GMs, Madden coordinators, Madden coaches, Madden owners, acting like y'all know the game of football better than the people out there playing. At the end of the day, shout out to one of the Cowboys YouTubers, Voch Lombardi. He said it best. He when we lost to Indianapolis, he made a statement that has stuck with me since that game. He said that I think this shows that the league is closer than we think. People think just because records define how the talent on a team, and that's not the case.
Well, ever since the salary cap era, it's not like the early 90s where there was no salary cap.
And you just had dominant teams, you was able to stack teams all across the board.
You had about 4 dominant teams, and the rest was just,
just garbage.
It's not, the NFL today is all about creating parity.
Exactly.
And making sure every team on the competitor level has a chance.
Yeah.
It's hard to win a game in NFL.
Yeah.
Ask the Cleveland Browns. They went 0-16.
Not to mention winning against a divisional opponent.
Exactly.
This is somebody that you see twice a year. This is somebody that got more film on you, know how to stop you. This is somebody that you're gonna see consistently every season. So with that being said, at the end of the day, like I said, the Giants played a hell of a game. Not to mention we was up in their house. In the cold weather.
In the Meadowlands. I'm not so worried about us playing in cold weather because I think we have the type of team that's built to play in cold weather.
That was another thing that I assessing this game before the game. I said that I want to see how they're going to play in cold weather. Just in case we have to see Chicago in Chicago.
Exactly.
If we have to see Chicago in Chicago, this makes me believe that, okay, we can play in cold weather and we can still compete in cold weather.
Well, I already believe that when we won in Philadelphia back in November. Philadelphia, at that particular time, Philadelphia was getting on a little bit of a high streak, and it was cold.
And it was cold as
and we won that game in the cold weather. Do we have the type of offense and the type of team period that can thrive in cold weather situations because we're a physical football team?
Football team. Hey, listen here, we're going to get out of here. But like I said, hell of a game win, hell of a way to end the season. Let's go ahead and go into this wild card game. Let's go ahead and dominate and handle business. And let's go try to chase that ring. Listen here, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter about the regular season no more. It's over. It doesn't matter what happened. The fact of the matter is that it's a new season now. The real season starts when the playoffs start. So with that being said, it's one and done. And that kind of performance I saw, not just from Dak Prescott, because, we going to probably get the people that say, oh, y'all acting like Dak did it all. And no, he did not do it all. But the kind of play that I saw from this offense, the kind of play that I saw from Jason Garrett as a coach, this is leaving it all on the field. Leaving it all, giving it your all, not playing a tie, and giving it your all the way down to the wire until there's no more left. And I'm very proud of these boys. Exactly. Very proud of these boys.
Me too.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens against Seattle in the wild card. We'll talk about that when it gets closer. Because now this is Cowboys Victory Sunday, which is going to roll into Cowboys Victory Monday. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to chase that 6th ring, most definitely. All right?